I was between art shows when I made a road trip from Wilmington, North Carolina, north to a remote area of the state called Down East. I stopped for 2 evenings at a campground in the Croatan National Forest. I watched the birds and marsh grasses, the lazy puff clouds, the bees going from tip to tip of a weedy-looking plant that I've always called goldenrod. I really don't know if that's its name or not. The trails were narrow, flat, and the heavily wooded areas leaned over the trail like arches. Even in the middle of the day, a perfectly comfortable sunny day, the trails seeped a sort of October eeriness. The boundary between the wooded area and the marsh didn't so much as form a border between two areas, but a sort of wedding chapel where the marshy grass vows to live in harmony with the mushy soiled live oaks and pines. Perhaps this is why so many birds love this area. An open playground filled with little fish and mosquitoes to eat, and a shrouded forest in which to rest. A couple of belted kingfishers chased and barked and squabbled at each other for hours. They were playing, maybe flirting with each other. They were self-amused, happy birds, I thought. And I wondered what it meant that birds can have moods that are plainly beyond self-preservation or instinct. Enjoyment, amusement, friendship. These are not the mechanical attributes of a mindless, soulless creature. As the kingfishers zipped and prattled along, an egret who had been watching the kingfishers on a prickly live oak limb flew in my direction. The bird perched above me and watched the setting sun. An idea struck me. The egret situated itself so that it could watch the sunset. Perhaps that is sentimentalizing the bird too much. Maybe I am anthropomorphizing the creature. But then again, if a sunset truly participates in beauty, isn't it arrogant to believe we are the only ones capable of recognizing beauty? We think we are so different from animals. If a bird watched a sunset with purpose, might that purpose not be awe? The sun set and rose again with the fiery hues of a well-liked Facebook and Instagram post. These pictures will get lots of likes, I thought, because people fancy themselves sunny and optimistic. And because Facebook and Instagram tell us how we are supposed to feel, because a burning, ardent sky is good, a sign of blessing, clarity, and pellucid brilliance, both in light and virtue. A sense of Valentine cellophane crinkled in my soul. Yet only the playful birds and the early surfer and the pier fisherman and marshland explorer like me made a record of these nightfalls and first brightenings. How strange it is that we are created out of the earth, that we are the earth now thinking about the earth, and our memories of sunrises and sunsets such as these will fall back into the very first dirt that thought of itself. But what of these observations? What of the memories of the belted kingfishers, the egrets and pelicans? What of the memories of this marshland explorer? Does the earth accumulate our thoughts as it tidies up our bodies, swallowing them into a planetary memory? And what then? Do my memories and your memories mingle together, slowly sinking and merging with the weight of others' memories until the core of the earth is the single consciousness of all conscious beings? Or do our thoughts, our memories, the sense of being decompose differently from our bodies? Does even our past cease to be? Beautiful sunrises and sunsets ended, and I traveled to what is properly called down east. Sometimes the rain poured, other times it was misty, and still other times the clouds cracked apart wide enough to see blue before closing shut again. This is my favorite weather for photography. To get up before dawn, drive an hour, and watch the sky barely glow. To feel the little pelts of rain, a little pinch of coldness that snaps your attention to the task at hand. The serendipity of finding what you know will be one of your favorite compositions. To finding a tiny gas station that is also a grocery store and a hardware store and a car parts store where 10 old men sit around a coffee-stained table discussing and solving the world's problems Monday through Friday between 5:30 a.m. and just after 8 a.m. To holding a steaming cup of coffee in your grip, as much to drink it as to warm up your hands. Whether you believe God created you or not, you were grown out of the earth. You were made from marshlands, from the interchanging of tides, from the sculpted farmlands of every human being who came before you. You are the self-aware earth. found a crab trap knotted on a tree stump. Both the trap and the stump cleaved together in a sort of partnership against the tide. The tide, with a long exposure, attenuated nicely, unmasking the flat, eternal nature of water. The presence of water created the trap and the stump. Water is the trap and the stump's reason for being. Tied together by wind and wave, the two will slowly dissipate back into the water. They will again be the reason they were created. In this way, I think, seascape, landscape, so much of photography is a self-portrait.